Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's class, where we are going to be talking about Trello as a PM2. So, we're going to continue from where we left off during the last class, and which was how to import a spreadsheet into Trello. Okay, Trello has made it um, way easier than it used to be. It's now pretty smooth. And once you get a hang of it, you'll be able to, bring your data into Trello without any stress, right? It turns your static spreadsheet into something way more interactive, something you and your team can, actually work with. So without any further delay, I'm just going to reshare Trello so that we see how we can do that quickly before we get into another tool. All right, so let me stop sharing and just reshare my Trello board. Okay, going to share this quickly. Let me know when you can see my screen and let me know what you're seeing. Can you see my screen and what are you seeing, please? Okay, Esther, what are you seeing? You can speak. Are you seeing Trello board?
Yes,
Hello?
I can see Trello. Yes, good day, ma'am. I can see Trello.com and then I'm seeing some things. I don't know if it's a valley or a mountain. I cannot really describe it.
Okay, that means you're seeing the Trello board. That's basically just what I wanted to know. Okay, so let's continue. So yes, I said today we are going to look at how to integrate, import things from a spreadsheet into our Trello. And that's because sometimes you have your user stories on it, bring it to life on Trello. You don't have to start. So during the last class, we had already established that you have to go to your Trello board. If you haven't used Trello in a while, you have to, sign in using your login details. And once you're in, you choose the board you want to work with, right? And this is where your spreadsheet is going to go into. I think of that board like your digital workspace. We already know that this is your workspace. It's where you see all your tasks, all your to-dos in one place, right? So now what we are going to do today basically is we are going to import our spreadsheet. So what we are going to do, we are going to go to what we call Power Ops. So in order to access Power Ops, you see these little buttons over here, these icons that you have over here. If you hover, you're going to see this one that says Power Ops. You see this one that says Automation and the rest. So we are coming to this one that says Power Ops, right? You're just going to click on it. Power Ops are like Trello's way of adding extra power, kind of like, plugins or something called add-ons, like you have on your Google Docs or your Google spreadsheets, right? And it's basically just another way to give more functionality to your Trello board. You usually find this in the side menu of the board, just like we have it here. And yeah, all you have to do is just click on it. It's nothing complicated. So next up, once you have clicked on it, you just click on this part that says add power ups. Right, please follow me closely. Good. When you click on that, what you're looking at here is like the Trello app store. It's full of, extra tools you can use to make your board a bit smarter. Since what we want to do is bring a spreadsheet data, we are going to look for a tool that can allow us to do that. So basically what we are going to do here is you see this search bar, you click on it to activate it, and now you get to type in, just type Trello import, right? Just those two words. What this does is it helps Trello find the exact tool we need, one that knows how to read a spreadsheet and turn it into Trello cards. Oh my, oh my. Okay, that's fine. I have started recording. I thought I hadn't. Okay, so yeah, I said what that does is that it helps Trello find the exact tool we need, one that knows how to read spreadsheets and turn it into cards, basically. Now we have searched on, right, Trello import. Just click enter. Now we have searched for that. Now, once you type that, you have to give it seconds to, enter the search query. And now you see a result with the name, something like this, Trello import or spreadsheet importer. But now we are going to use this one that says import to Trello by Blue Cat Excel, right? Now, all you have to do is click on the app import feature to your Trello board, right? Start clicking add. Okay, apologies for that break. Let me reshare my Trello board. Please let me know when you can see my screen again. Can you see my screen again? Hello, can you guys hear me? Okay, thank you. So yeah, after you have confirmed, let's do this again. Let's just quickly do this again, right? So yes, this is it. Let's go over this again. Click on your power ups, add power ups. And it's going to pop that up and you select your import, Trello, like that. Let's use this one. And yes. So as you can see, I'd already clicked on it, right? It's showing you some samples. Showing you some samples, right? That has already been imported. So what we are going to do is choose the file you want to import. Now, we're going to, the main part, which is the spreadsheet itself. So you're going to click on choose files. Okay, network. Let's try that again. All right, let me reshare. Let's quickly reshare that. And yes, we should be back now. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Okay, thank you. All right, so yes, when you have done that, it's going to give you this welcome prompt by Blue Card. So you just have to click this and authorize Trello. So after that, it is going to prompt you, to choose a file. These are basically just, prompts. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. You're loading, give that some time to load, and then we'll be able to click on the allow. Good. So now you are here. You'll be able to choose which file you want to upload. This will open a file selector where you can pick the spreadsheet from your computer. As you can see, I already have it downloaded, right, as a CSV. So I'm just going to select that. Remember, this file needs to be in a CSV format. That's the format Trello works best with for imports, right? So if your spreadsheet is currently in Excel, which is going to be XLSX, you need to, first export or save it as a CSV. You can do that in Excel or Google Sheets by clicking on where you have files and then downloading the file as CSV. So yeah, once your file is selected, click on the button that says check and import spreadsheet, right? So you can make good use of these settings. Due date checked, priority field none. You just leave that. This is another setting. So basically what we are going to do is just check and import. So at this point, what this does is that it scans your spreadsheet and starts importing all that data into your Trello board, usually as cards or lists, depending on how your sheet is structured. So as you can see, after the import, your tags and data will appear on your board. So it is done, right? This has been done. So we're going to go close this out. Yep, that should. So as you can see, after your import, you go back to your board, go ahead and scan through what has been. Okay, we're just going to continue. Some stuff has been imported into our backlog, as you can see here. So after the import, your tags and data will appear on your board. So you go ahead and scan through it. You should see all your tasks, any notes or label, right? Maybe due dates if there's any. Now, this is now a live board. You can drag and drop, drag them and drop like we agreed during our last class, right? And people can start, working on it. So don't forget to close the Power Ops menu when you're done, of course. And I already closed that before we got back. So basically, this is how you integrate your spreadsheet into a living, breathing Trello board. This is great if you've been using Google Sheets to plan your task. and now you want your team to start actually integrating with those tasks in a more flexible way, which is going to be through Trello. So I'm just a quick recap what we did here. You go to your board, you open your Power Ups, right? You open your Power Ups, you set Trello import, and then you add the Power Ups. After adding your Power Ups, you choose your CSV file, you click on the import, and after it has imported, you review the tabs that you have and just basically maybe rearrange them more organized way, basically. But if you did all the work on the spreadsheet, you will not really have to do so much work here on Trello anymore. So that's basically that on um, how to import your task to Trello from your spreadsheet. So we are going to move on to another interesting tool which I love so much. Another interesting tool which I love so much, and that is none other but Linear. Give me a sec to reshare my screen. Okay. So we have Linear as a PM tool, right? Now, Linear is a tool that helps you manage all, all the little and big things that go into building a product. It is fast, it is easy to use, and honestly, it just works so well. It's one of the cleanest ways to track your tasks, to manage your workflows, and stay on top of everything all in one place. You can think of it as your command center. You'll be able to assign tasks, track progress, be able to set deadlines, break your works into neat, manageable sections. You'll be able to create sprints, cycles, and many more interesting things. So I'm not going to be talking too much. I'll just show you how Linear works. Remember, this is a hands-on, so let's just see how Linear works. Let me quickly reshare. Please confirm you can see my screen. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Thank you very much. Okay, so how to get to the Linear app? First of all, you start with your search query. You go to Google and you type Linear app. When you type the Linear app, just like that, you click on this first query that pops up here. And this is the official site. You just click on it. So when you click on it, you give it some time to load, and this pops up. So before we create anything, let's quickly look at the pricing for Linear. You see these 4 plans. You have the free, basic, business, and enterprise. So of course, we are going to be using the free plan. It's free for everyone, and it gives us what we need, even though it has some limitations. If your team grows or as your team grows and you need more advanced features, later you can explore some paid plans. But for starters, the free plan is more than enough for your basic product management needs. So we're just going to get started with the free plan. Okay, that is loading up. It's going to ask you to create an account. You can either use your email address or sign in with Google. I always go with Google. It's faster. No need to set a password or confirm anything, you just click on your Google account and then you're in. But if you prefer to use your email manually, if you prefer to use your email manually, that works too. Either way, it's fine. The next step is now going to be for us to set up our workspace. Now that you're in, the first thing to ask you to do is, put in your workspace name. So since we are using our money transfer app, we're just going to stick with that. So we can call this workspace, let's just call it Money Swift. Money Swift, right? Money Swift, that's fine. So this is the name that represents your entire team and product in Linear, right? As you can see, it has the workspace URL, right? Linear will automatically convert your workspace name into a one-word version, like, Money Swift, but I did not, even if I put in a space between them, right? What it's going to do, it's going to add a dash or an hyphen or something, but there's no need for that. So it just makes the workspace URL cleaner if there is no space or any other thing. So the next thing for you to do is set your region where your workspace is going to be hosted. So we can just choose the United States right here, right? This affects performance a little, right? Once that is done, click on your create workspace, and that is going to query. So the next thing that should pop up should be, click on get started. Right, the next pop-up should be for you to choose a theme, right? Pick whichever one you prefer, the light or the dark. I'm just going to stick to the dark. Continue. I usually go for the dark mode because it's easier on the eyes, especially if you work at night. Or you can go for the light mode if you want. So you click continue after that. And the next thing that pops up is the shortcut tip, right? Now it's going to show you the command menu, which this is. It's basically a linear shortcut for doing things faster. The shortcut is Control K. Just press those keys together and you can do almost anything on linear. You can create tabs, you can switch views, you can assign people and many more. So don't worry, I'll show you how to use that later. But for now, let's just click on continue. So the next integration that pops up is GitHub. Now it will ask you to connect to GitHub. If you're working with engineers and your code is on GitHub, this can be helpful. But for now, we'll skip this. You can always come back to it later. So let's do this later. So the next step you are going to see is for you to invite your teammates. This next step, right, is basically just allows you to invite them either through their email addresses or just copy and share a unique code. So I'm just going to do this. Let me input an email address where right, you can either send invite. Let me just quickly send that invite. So that I sent one invite. There's a pop-up here that says one invite sent. So we're just going to click again on continue. So you get a few more options here, like subscribing to newsletter or following their social media account. These are totally optional. You can just skip it, click continue. So yeah, you're now in, right? You're officially in, you're good to go. You can open linear. It's going to bring you to your dashboard, right? From here, we'll start setting up projects, setting up tasks, and everything else, that helps us bring this money transfer app to life. So let's explore the dashboard next, right? Now that you're in, let's take a look around. This is your official dashboard. The interface, as you can see, is clean. It's divided into a few key sections, which I'm going to break down for you a bit, so you know exactly where to click and what exactly you're clicking on and what you're clicking on stands for. So we have the side navigation, which is this part. On the left side, you see the sidebar. This is where you access all the main parts of your workspace, right? Your projects, your teams, your settings, and so on. So right now, you also see your team name up here, right? Whatever you name your workspace when you signed up, that's what is going to show up here. And for us, it's the money suite. So below, you'll see a section called projects. Now, these are the actual things you're working on inside your workspace. Think of the workspace like your company, and the project like specific department or specific features, right? Each project can contain its own set of tasks, its own timeline, and even its own team members. For example, in our money transfer app, which is our money suite, right? You can have one project or wallet setup, one for transaction flow, one for user onboarding, and many more. So the list, the issue list rather, where you have issues, right? These are basically your to-do items or tasks. This is where you see all your open. Confirm you can still hear me, please. Give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me. Okay, thank you. So I said this is where you see all your open tasks, whether they are part of a project or just assigned to you directly. You can also filter this view to only see tasks for a particular project or even just tasks that are assigned to you. So got it. Okay, so okay, they come with these pre-filled tabs right here. So let me just explain what I just said. So if you click on these tabs, right, you get to see the tax information. Now go back to issues. You can filter this view to, you can filter it to status, maybe to do in progress. You can filter it by assignee. Okay, let me quickly share that. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen, please. Thank you very much, guys. So yes, you can filter this, like I said, you can filter the view to however you want to view it. Let's say you've started working as a team and you have lots of issues and it's too much work scrolling down. You can just filter it to have just design task or just tasks assigned to a particular person. Now, when you click on any task, which is this, a side panel will open up or a full screen, right? From there, you can see the full task description, which are all of these things that we have right here. So this is the, you know what, let's just go create. Okay. All right, so I said we have created that particular user story. So now we're just going to click on it. When you click on it, depending on the setting of your systems, it can either pop up a side panel or it's just going to open a full screen like mine. Right from there, you can see the full text description. Let's say you added a description at some point, right? You can see the full text description. You can see the comment section. Maybe somebody had left a comment right here. You can see all of that. And if there are sub tags, or in this case, sub issues, you can also see the sub issues. We are not there yet. So yes, that's that. So we have something called inbox. Now back on the left side bar, the first item you'll see is the inbox, right? Now this isn't your email inbox, right? This is where your updates, when you click on that, it's currently empty because this is a new board. So this is where your updates about your tasks and every other activities of the board of this workspace gets to show up. If someone assigns you a task, if someone or something is updated, or if you get mentioned in a comment, it all shows up here. So right now, this will be empty, like I said, until you start creating or assigning tasks. But once your team is active, this becomes super, super useful, right? So my issues, which is um, the second item right here, my issues, right? This is basically your personal task list. Every task that has been assigned to you, you're going to leave right here. So instead of scrolling through every project to find what you're supposed to do, you just come here, right? And you are going to see every task assigned to you. So that said, the project area is where we go to now. So this is where we create the real structure for what we're about to start doing, right? The project. So let's just create a project together. So go ahead and click on create new project. It should be based on your sidebar or your dashboard, right? Now, what you're going to do here is add the project name, right? The project name. For example, let's say we are working on the first major feature of our Money Swift app. So we can call this particular project wallet transfer, right? Wallet transfer, or no, let's use Money Swift MVP. Yes, I hope we still remember what MVP stands for, the minimum viable product. Now this particular project is where we'll track everything needed to get the Money Swift MVP working in our app, right? So we also see fields for a short summary. You can add a short summary, right? You can just write something like maybe build and test core Money Swift features, right? If that makes sense. Money Swift features or functionalities. Functionalities, right? And a description. This is where you have a description. This is where you can add a full breakdown, what's included, what's the goal, what's the idea, and many other things. So you just impute this right here in the description. And you can categorize the project, right? You should be able to categorize your project. Is it in the backlog? Or, you know, is it in progress? Is it planned? Now, for now, we're going to stick with backlog. That means it hasn't started yet. It's just in, the pipeline that we have. And then you also have priority level. You see priority options like 1 through 4, which 1 signifies that it's high, urgent, right? 2, and so on and so forth. Now, if this feature is a launch priority, if this MVP is for launch priority, that means that this is going to be between urgent and high. So let's use high. So it's a high priority. Now you're going to see something like lead, right? Lead means the person leading the project, right? The person leading the project, you get to choose. If it is you as a product manager, then you assign this to yourself, right? You assign this to yourself. Or if it's someone else handling this part of the app, you can assign it to them, provided they have been invited to the workspace already. Now you have members, right? The members that are going to be a part of this, you can add them, right? You can just add them, right? So you have dates, the start and end dates. You can also impute that. Let's just say start. Okay, let's say start on the 8th of August, and the target end date should be 15th of August, right? This helps everyone stay aligned and streamlined, right? And then you can also add your labels. We haven't updated our labels yet. So when you update your labels, you can add your labels. And then there is something called milestones. You can also create milestones, which are, as you can see here, which are like major checkpoints within these projects that you are creating. Right? For example, you can create let's see, just click on this plus icon to create. You can just call this milestone MVP launch, right? Or whatever it is you want to call your milestone. So after that, you just add the milestone and then you can, save. So automatically, this project is in the MVP launch milestone. So you can create your project. You see the pop-up that you have successfully created a project, right? But you have to make sure that everything looks good before you click on that create. So this is looking good. This is looking okay. This is looking good. It's looking okay. So we are going to look at another aspect of this. Just give me a brief sec. All right, so now let's create teams, right? There's something called creating of teams. So as you can see here, you have your teams, and currently we have just one, right? Yes. You come to where you have your workspace and then click on more, and then you find teams, right? As you can see, we have this. We have this right here. What you can do is you need another team, you can add a team. So you can either call this engineering, right? Engineering. And this is going to be the identifier for it, which is the ENG, right? You can also pick an icon for them. Let's use this and then probably give it a color, right? That's good. So that is for your engineering team. You just come and then create your team. So this has been created. Now, using the free version of Linear, you can only create 2 teams, right? Please take note of that. Now, since we already have our project here titled Money Swift MVP, we can come here and do a bit of setting for this and just call this design, right? And the identifier for this should be the E, right? And you can save that. So back to app, right? As you can see, we now have the engineering team and we have the design team. So it is easy for you to assign tasks to design and also easy for you to assign tasks to engineering. So please kindly give me a thumbs up. Let me know that we are not lost and we are still together. Please give me a thumbs up if you're following. All right, thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Lila. All right, thank you. Thank you, Esther. Okay, thank you, everyone. Good. So, creating tasks and assigning them. So let's start creating tasks. Let's start with the design, right? Now that we've created our first project, we can actually start assigning, tasks and doing the actual work because a project is useless without tasks inside of it. So you can either create your tasks directly from Teams or you can go and create it from project, right? Just by clicking on it like this and you can add your tasks. But I think it is easier to create from your Teams, right? So we are going to create from Teams. Now, this is where you get to break things down, right? You don't build a whole, you don't get to build a whole money script in one day, right? You build it piece by piece, and each of those pieces, they become a task, or as Linear calls it, they become an issue, right? So, first thing first, if you didn't finish creating your project, you have to go back and create your project, right? But if you are done, you can see that over here, you can add your task. By clicking on this plus sign, right, you can add your task. Let's say you want to add an issue. Let's use the terms that Linear uses. You want to add an issue. So let's start with the parent issue. Let's say this is the authentication flow. Authentication flow, right, for design, or start to design from the beginning. DE authentication flow. It's preferred to do it this way in case you want to sort. It's easy for you to sort by design, right? So now this is the authentication flow. You can put in a description. This should carry everything about the auth screens, something like that. And now you can click here and add sub issues. Now, under authentication flow, you have login. User can log in, right? And then you get to assign this to somebody. you assign this to a project, and then yes, you put in the priority, and then you put in the label, which is, this is a feature, right? So you put in that label, and then you get to set the due date. You can use custom or just click on tomorrow. This task is due tomorrow, right? And then you add sub issue. You have created that, right? You have created that sub issue. This is the sub issue under the authentication flow, right? The authentication flow has a sub issue. Now, what this simply does is that we know that authentication is vast. So instead of just dumping a task on your designer authentication flow, so now you're sending them out to go and figure out, okay, authentication flow has login, logout, sign in, sign out, and all of that. What you do is that you break it down for them. You break every screen, the login screen, the sign up screen, the forgot password screens, and every other thing. That is basically what this means. And it also helps you as a product manager to be able to track a particular flow, because if you assign your tasks based on parent issue, it is easy for you to always come back here to see that, oh, the sub issues that we have here, we are done with, let's change the status of this. We are done with user can log in, but we are not done with forgot password. We are not done with reset passwords. We are not done with all of those things. So that means the authentication flow is not complete, right? The authentication flow is still pending. But if every sub issue under this parent issue is completed, that is when you can, comfortably close out this parent issue. Click it as done. Right now, let's go back to issues. Click on all issues. So now this is done. One is done on the authentication flow. But if there's something inside that hasn't been done, let's do this again. Let's say we change this from done to do, right? Go back to your issue. As you can see, 0/1, right? It helps you track who was this assigned to, who was supposed to do this and what. So it helps you track your flow. It helps you track everything that your team are working on. So I hope we are following so far. Do we have any questions before I say one or two more things and then call it a wrap? Do we have any more questions? So we all understand what I have been saying so far. That's interesting. Okay, so you can always change your view, right? You can always change your view, and you can always minimize all of this, and you can always import issues, just like we have a means of importing issue from our spreadsheet to Trello. You can also import some issues from your spreadsheet over here as well, and you can link this to your GitHub. It has all of this. You can link it to your GitHub for your engineers. You can link this to Discord, and we discuss that in our next class. And then the beautiful thing about Linear is that when you come here, where you have this money swift, which is the title of your workspace, you can click on this drop down, and then it shows you your settings. It shows you how to invite and manage your members, which I'm going to click on. So right now, this is how you invite people. You can invite them by clicking here and attaching their email address. And when you do so, you can choose which of the team you're inviting them into, either your design or your engineering team. Then you send your invite, right? And then if for some reason you guys are done working on your project and then you want to close out everything, you can export everything you have on Linear. You can export it as a CSV file. As you can see, that has downloaded with just one click. You can export in members, you can export everything that you have done so far on linear. And yes, that for now. These are the basic things that we need to know about linear and how to use our linear um, workspace to manage our tasks. So that is that. Do we have any questions before we call it a day? Questions? Any questions? We don't have questions. Why do I find that hard to believe? Okay, I'll take that as a yes, that we do not have any question and we understand vividly everything I have said about Trello and everything I have said about linear today. So we'll call it a close and please let's do well to go back to the recording and just refresh our memory because next week we're going to have a promotional task and it's going to be centered around what we have learned so far.